Good morning, Mr. Richardson. Hope you're having a great Monday so far and everything's all good with yourself. So as a whole, this week has been a lovely week. Really, really good week in terms of improvements with the knee health side of things, which, to be honest, mate, the quad tightness aspect of your physio giving you some stretches, that is such a simple yet common issue with knee health. What do you do all day? For the most part, you sit down. Yes, you move a little bit. You do some cardio. But at the end of the day, like, you're not moving a massive amount, man. And you're going to sit in positions where your quads will get tight. And then you'll train them really hard. And then they'll get tighter. And then they'll pull around the knee joint. So, yeah, for the most part, mate, a very good week in terms of scale weight. So, response so far, start weight 240 pretty much, down to 232. Nice and efficient. You look fuller and leaner at the same time, which is what I expected to happen. I think the productivity of your leg training and the reduction in knee pain and the drop off in like body fat around your knee joint and hip joint, like, geez, mate, your legs look massive. Your legs look very, very good this week. Much happier with the lighting this week as well. With the trajectory of this prep, mate, and I'll discuss show dates in a second, we need to start seeing your glutes now. So either get in posing trunks, or pretty sure your past posing trunks won't fit you, or just lift your boxes up. I need to admit that I don't 100% know how quickly you will change in this process. So this is a little bit of a learning curve for me. Cool. So no adjustments for this week. You're losing at a brilliant pace so far. If anything, ahead of the schedule in terms of rate of loss. So food's going to be kept the same. Can imagine at some point maybe we'll actually even re-add some food in if this rate of loss continues. But for now, we'll keep it the same, keep CV the same, steps the same. But yeah, for the most part, let's crack on, and I will catch up with you next week.
Hello and welcome to the YouTube. Just on the way for a meaty pull session with the mighty Hayden. Hello, how are we doing? Which is great, yeah. I love that. But yes, so from AJ's feedback, as you've heard, things are going to plan, getting fuller, getting leaner, which is exactly what we want at this stage, because it did start prep a little bit flat just due to the illness that happened prior. But yes, the fullness is returning. Performance in the gym is getting better, which is awesome. And that's pretty much everything's going smoothly. Even mentioned adding more food in, which is a fucking very cool thing to happen, because that's never happened to me on a prep before, where I've started on a certain amount of food and it's actually been incremented up. But that is only a sign that things are going well and that we are potentially ahead of the game. Because it is my first assisted prep, this is not something that can be predicted as well as my natural preps, because this is new ground, this is new territory for myself, so I'm just very open-minded with this. I think the good thing is I've left myself plenty of time during this prep. We've decided some show dates. I'm not going to reveal them at just this moment because they aren't going to be 100% confirmed. Again, we're just going to see the trajectory of prep. It could be early, it could be later when I'm competing, but I am sort of hoping to compete around about September time, which is roughly around about 16 to 17 weeks. Yes, we're going in for a pull session now, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to talk you through it, talk you through some of the movements and the exercise set selection, just the makeup of this day. So potentially you can take something away from this and apply it to your own pull or back sessions. I'm very much looking forward to this. Pull, as many people know, has been a massive focus for myself in the off season, to just try to bring up my weaker shots, which is my rear shots. And during the off season, I've learned a lot about how to just really execute things properly and just get the most out of my back training. Another thing I want to speak about, the previous check-in shots, the check-in shots from this week. I am roughly around about 232 to 233 pounds. Now, these photos that you're seeing now are the exact same weight, but a few years apart. Now, as you can see, there are visual differences. Reiterates the point that you can't just solely go off scale weight. Scale weight doesn't really determine your progress as a sole indicator. I like to use with myself and clients as well weight and pictures to see progress, because again, you could be the same weight and your composition could be completely different. Throughout this off season, I've gone up to 230. I've probably dieted down. The heaviest I've been is 245, but every time I've reached 230, it's looked better and better. So I don't think because you stayed around about the same weight, your progress isn't really being productive, because again, your composition can change alongside this, and this is why photos are very, very important. So we're gonna train. How are you feeling for today's session?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, bro. Are you feeling good, bro?
I'm feeling like a fucking slimy lettuce.
Feeling like $1 million baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Shall we kiss?
Yeah.
Okay, not today.
In a bit. Give me 20 minutes. I need to warm up.
I mean, I was going to title this video my first gay experience. Oh my god. Wow, that sounded gross coming into my eye.
Did you enjoy that? I've been practicing for a few weeks now, and we're slowly getting to the point where we want to be.
So, the first exercise is a bent over head support dumbbell row. This is something that I really like doing because you have the control of how you angle and align yourself, and that will correlate with where you hit your back. So, a little tip. If you want to hit your lats, have your elbows very close and drag it downwards. If you want to hit your upper back, for example, have it flared out and row backwards. So elbow in for the lats, outwards for more than upper back. If you go really high, you'll start hitting your rear delt. Because it's head supported, you're able to stay very strict. So quite often what I do see is with bent over rows that the form tends to break down, and a lot of people use the momentum, and that takes away from the tension of the muscle, and again, you use the momentum to move the weight. You don't want to use too much momentum. A little bit is okay, but too much, you just swing the weight around, creating unnecessary fatigue and really reducing and limiting the amount of stimulus that you're going to get from this exercise. This is a lighter weight today, just favouring higher reps at the moment in training, just to keep myself safer. Fuck me. I'm struggling to breathe. Fuck me. But yeah, things are going well. That felt fucking awesome. I think next week I can probably smash 60s after the trajectory of my fucking training. Okay, we're moving on to a hip hinge now. For pretty much every one of my clients who were able to do a hip hinge, I'll prescribe them at least one hip hinge on one of their pull days. I think a hip hinge is so important to building density in the posterior. It can hit so many muscle groups in the posterior all at once. I'm talking about your hamstrings, your glutes, your erectors, your traps. Pretty much the entire of your back will be lit up by doing a hip hinge. So you want to find one that is comfortable for you. I personally like an RDL or an SDL. I find they're more favourable for hypertrophy. Now for myself, I have an imbalance which makes it quite difficult to do a conventional RDL, such as with a barbell or even with dumbbells, so I have to do it unilaterally. So this particular time I use a B stance, so I can strengthen that imbalance that I currently have. And on the other session I do a single leg RDL, and that again is actually as a little bit of rehab, just trying to strengthen some of the instabilities that I do have. So if you're ever wondering how to do a hip hinge unilaterally, this is how you do it. Like I say, if you don't have injuries or anything holding you back, you'll be quite safe just doing it the conventional way with either a barbell or the dumbbell. Next exercise is going to be a lat focused exercise. So as I was mentioning before, what you'll see is my elbow be tucked in nice and tightly, the chest nice and high, and I'm dragging it down, okay? So I'm not overextending where I go into a dead hang. I'm just keeping the tension on the lat. So you don't want to be going into a dead hang where your elbow goes to the side, because that's when you lose tension of the lat. So this, what I like about this is the use of D handles. It's fantastic because again, it allows you to navigate your wrist wherever you want to do. And again, track elbow where you want to hit your back. In this case, it's going to be the lat focus. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. 2 more. 1 more. Come on. Yep. Next exercise is the iso lateral loro. Now, this can be used for lats, and it predominantly is used for lats, but I am going to be using it for my upper back. So how I'm going to do this is, again, I'm going to flare my elbows outwards a little bit when I'm doing it, and I'm going to allow the machine to drag me forward a little bit. This is going to fully stretch the upper back, the traps, the rhomboids, etc. So I can lengthen those muscles and then retract back and row back. Trust me, if you execute this like the way that I'm describing, the pump that you're going to get in the area of which I'm talking, which is your upper back, is going to be immense. The cable pull over with the rope attachment. I love this. Again, you're able to, with the rope attachment, you're able to place your elbows where you need to. Again, we keep the elbows nice and tight. I thought I'd try it with a seated bench for today to see if it provided more stability. I'm not really too big of a fan, so I'm going to revert to without. You'll see a set with Hayden doing it without. That's what we usually do. But what we do here is we do a drop set. So we start, fall, as soon as we finished and failed, we move on, drop the weights. As soon as we can't do another full rep, we move on, finish, and then we finish with partials. So we fully exhausted the lats in the shorten range, and then we're fully exhausted in the lengthen range. And as you will see, using very little weight, and I'm literally trying to fucking force it all the way down as far as it can go, and I can't really get much range of motion. This means the lats are completely fucking fried, and this is a lovely finishing move for the lats that I like to add in towards the end of the session. Come on. So this exercise is the cable shrug, and what I love about this is my favourite shrug variation, and I would say this is contributed to a lot of the gains that I've had on my traps, is that it keeps you nice and strict. Quite often you see a lot of people do that with the turkey necks, and it's kind of fucking
One more time.
crazy. And you also see a lot of people shrug like this. You've got to remember, the traps are at the back of it, okay? So what this does so brilliantly is it allows you to stretch your shoulders forward and then retract backwards and up. That's what you want. You want to lengthen the muscle and then shorten the muscle. And especially with the harder reps, this keeps you nice and strict so you can grind through. So the stimulus you get on this and the tension on the muscle with the traps is phenomenal. It looks a bit obscure. You don't see a lot of people doing this, but if you can, do this at home. Not at home. At the fucking gym. Don't do this at home, bro.
That would
if
really
you can do
shock the
it at
muscle.
home, give it a go. You'll be fucking walking around like this. Help me. You get punched, you'll be like this. Like this, you're like Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
I'm Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man.
Moving on to rear delts on the reverse pec deck. Very simple exercise this. What you got to be thinking is going outwards. You don't want to be going too far, because that's not going to be hitting your rear delt and you're just going to be using too much range of motion. So you've got to be careful with that. You've got to go fully short of the rear delt and don't go past that. So again, outwards with your arm to hit the rear delt. And just grind through those reps. Exercises like this, you know, a lot of people don't put intensity in. But if you're wanting to grow a particular area, regardless of if it's an isolation compound, whatever, the intensity needs to be there. Okay, so the next exercise is a tricep extension with a cable. I'm doing this single arm, so it's nice and unilateral. Unilateral exercises are extremely beneficial for trying to bring up symmetry and correct any imbalances. What I like about this is it challenges the full range of the tricep with a nice resistance profile. Now when you're doing this, what you got to be focusing on is keeping this part of your arm nice and straight to the upper part of the arm and just extending below the elbow. That's what's going to be challenging your tricep. A lot of people are moving that and turning it into a little bit of a pull-over hybrid. You don't want to be doing that. That's going to generate unnecessary fatigue. You want to be keeping that strict, extending fully, stretching fully, extending fully. Again, challenging the muscle in the full range of motion. That's it, bro.
First time. Okay, so that is pull finished. It was a very enjoyable session. It was a great session, a very sweaty session. You know what? Since I've started prep, I haven't been able to sweat. I'm glistening now just talking to the fucking camera. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that, watching that, and some of you took some value from that. If that's something you want to see more of, please let me know. And if you have any other suggestions of what you would like to see from myself, please let me know in the comments or message me on Instagram or anything. Just let me know, because I want to make content that you want to see. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? Click that subscription button, like the video, and I will catch you next time for another episode of the Statement Season. Okay.